is pioneering the tokenization of domains as real-world assets through the Doma Protocol. How do you envision this transforming the domain industry over the next 5 to 10 years?
Sure. The goal of Doma is to make domains more composable and accessible to the everyday user. This is basically enhancing distribution of the asset class. There's just under 400 million domain names in the world today. But interesting statistic that many people don't know about is that half of that, those assets are owned by institutions, right? So the goal of making domains composable and tokenized expands distribution. We can now directly integrate into applications that previously couldn't sell or distribute domain names. So the ultimate goal is to scale this to 1 billion domains on the internet and beyond.
How does Div3 envision the long-term future of the domain industry? Will tokenized domains and DomainFi fully replace traditional domain ownership models, and will they coexist?
Well, DomainFi is meant to enhance the domain name industry. Domains have been a fundamental internet utility asset for a long, long time, and they are digital native. So the goal of tokenization and composability for domains is to increase interoperability, which means we can increase liquidity, but also utility natively in domain names. So a great example is leveraging AI agents, right? They're now all on chain, they're all online, so they all deserve unique identities, right? Domains would be perfect, right? We can map wallet addresses to them, they can be cross-chain assets, and you can decompose them in various ways.
With DomainFi introducing concepts like fractional ownership and domain-based lending, how does D3 see these innovations impacting both domain investors and everyday internet users?
In short, it allows for the monetization of domains near term, and it also increases the amount of discovery, right? So the everyday user may not be able to acquire a premium domain that is worth multiple millions of dollars, but they can acquire a fraction of it, right? And become an owner and use it in different ways.
The partnership with OneFootball aims to use football domains for fan identity. How do you envision domain-based identities enhancing user engagement within large online communities like sports fans?
Yes, .football is a great example of one of the partnerships where users through an application can now own a domain. They can now own their identity, right? So whatever data that is tracked within that use case, they can now aggregate that back to a domain, which is, again, a digitally native asset that is persistent across the internet. You don't need any special SDKs, right? It just exists on the internet.
As more real WAs move on-chain, where do tokenized domains fit within the broader narrative?
Domain names are the most digital native RWA in the space, so we do think they should be one of the first use cases that we can bring on chain, introduce capital markets and efficiency to. They have a lot of trapped liquidity, so essentially through Doma and what we're doing with a lot of the Web2 partners, we do want to revolutionize the industry for that.